Thank you for focusing on my face. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's June 2nd, it's officially Pride Month, and I used to do a Pride themed book video every single year. I didn't do it last year, unfortunately, but this year I'm back. We're gonna talk about books that I would love to read this month, or in general the entire season. I read LGBTQ+ books throughout the entire year, but especially during June, during Pride season, we want to make sure that we celebrate voices of our community. Even though we are celebrating the lives of queer people, people are fighting for and losing their lives in Gaza, in Palestine. I'm gonna put some links down below to educate yourself on the matter, to donate to the innocent people in Gaza. What's happening right now is absolutely terrible and horrible, and with our small contributions, people's lives could literally be saved. Next Sunday is the time to vote in Europe. Please go vote. It's so important, especially in Germany right now. Everybody, every single voice, every single person is important to defend our democracy. Okay, I think we're going to start with this video now. I'm going to start with the books that I have in physical form. I have lots of audiobooks that I want to listen to this month, so we're going to go right into it. We're starting with poetry. I am so excited for the future of this channel because I have quite a little project in mind where we're going to analyze poetry together, or maybe just you watch me trying to analyze poetry. So I do want to spend more time with a poet that I've known for quite some time now. He's absolutely amazing. He is a queer voice, but his poems are also one of the most unique I've ever read, and that voice belongs to Ocean Vuong. He published 2 poetry collections, Night Sky with Exit Wounds and Time is a Mother. I think he's such an incredible voice in poetry right now, and I want to read more of his work and also get more into it because it reminds me of Emily Dickinson in a way that I read a poem over and over and over again and I still can't quite grasp what he's talking about. And I remember one time I had to analyze a poem for literature class, first semester of university, and I sat at the kitchen table and I spent 2 hours just thinking about what could this mean? Why did he write this? Why did he use this word and not that one or something? It was so incredibly fascinating. I even talked about it with my family because I was so stuck. I was like, guys, I don't understand. What could he mean? So even though his poetry for me is intimidating, it's incredibly intriguing and very fascinating, as I already said. So Ocean Vuong is the poet I want to devote some time to this Pride Month. Next book has been on my TBR for forever. I think I bought it 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and that's Detransition Baby by Tori Peters. It's about Reese. She lives in New York. She's in a relationship with Amy, and she scraped together a life previous generations of trans women could only dream of. The one thing missing was a child. Then everything fell apart, and 3 years on, Reese is still in self-destruct mode, avoiding her loneliness by sleeping with married men. When her ex calls to ask if she wants to be a mother, Reese finds herself intrigued. After being attacked in the street, Amy detransitions to become Ames, changed jobs, and, thinking he was infertile, started an affair with his boss, Katrina. Now Katrina's pregnant. Could the 3 of them form an unconventional family and raise the baby together? I have only heard good things about this book. Trans voices are incredibly important, and detransitioning has such a huge stigma around it, so educating myself on it is so important to me. So that's on my list. The next book is a love story. My mom gave it to me when I completed my therapy, which was so cute, and it's called Du und ich und der Sommer by Katerina Silvanova, Elena Malizova. Sorry if I mispronounced that. It's translated to You and I and Summer. It's set in Kharkiv. It is translated from Russian. It's about 2 guys meeting, I think at a camp, when they were young, when they were teenagers, and they fall in love, or they have feelings for one another, and then they meet again, I think 20 years later. Yeah, 20 years later. It's set in summer, so I'm really excited to read it. It's supposed to be really beautiful. This book was banned in Russia. Read more banned books. Very important. Okay, the next books are all on my phone because I listen to a lot of my books on BookBeat. Where's my sponsorship, BookBeat? Where is it? No, I'm kidding. I'm way too small a creator to get anything, but BookBeat is my absolute love. I fell in love with it in 2021. I think that's when I read my first audiobook. I know a lot of people who hate audiobooks. I love audiobooks, so I got a couple of books on my list that I find to be very interesting. So let's start with The Safe Keep by, this is a Dutch name, Jelle van der Wooden. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so sorry. This is the story of two women set in 1961 in the Netherlands. Obviously 1961, it's set after World War II, and the war is discussed in this book. The first line sold me already because it's called "A House is a Precious Thing." I am in love with houses. If you go anywhere with me and I see a nice house, I will photograph it. I don't know if you noticed that, but in my last vlog, I filmed hundreds of houses just because I love the architecture of some houses. Some don't like modern houses. I like old ones that look old, that have story, that have, you know, I don't know. I need to stay focused. Anyway, so this is the story of Isabel and Eva. Brother Louis brings his graceless new girlfriend Eva, leaving her at Isabel's doorstep as a guest to stay for the season. They're quite different, and this sort of obsession turns into infatuation. It's supposed to be mysterious, sophisticated, sensual, and infused with intrigue. I've listened to 16 minutes of it, and I can already relate so much to the protagonist, Isabel. She is very sensitive, meticulous about things, and tries to preserve the significance of objects, of things. It all starts with the house that they live in, and she knows its history, she knows it's like precious, and I don't know, I really like that so far. So I'm quite excited to see how her obsession with objects, obsession with things that she finds very important to her life, how that turns into an obsession with a person, a woman. So really excited to read this. I also thought the cover is quite pretty. So yeah, The Safe Keep is the next book on my list. The next book is a non-fiction book, which is called Will I Ever Have Sex Again by Sophie Hagen, about a woman who I think hasn't had sex in almost 3 years. She does consider herself, this is something that I found really interesting. How do you overcome being a 35-year-old virgin when it comes to queer sex, that is? So queer sex is discussed in this book. Just in general, how do the socially awkward and the neurodiverse have sex? So it's all about conversation about that topic, about navigating a world where you think everything is about sex. As a person who does fall under the umbrella of aromantic and asexual, it's incredibly fascinating to me. Quite excited to read that one. I do want to read more nonfiction. I've found myself very drawn to nonfiction recently. I don't know, maybe I just want to educate myself on stuff. Maybe I just want to learn. Another book that I found, I think it's the second to last on this list, is Herc, Hero, Husband, Father, Villain, Monster by Phoenicia Rogerson. Another Greek mythology retelling, how else could it be? Hercules, or the Greek name Heracles, has been in my life ever since I saw Hercules, the Disney movie, for the first time in my life. It's my absolute favorite Disney movie of all time. I have been obsessed with Greek mythology for a long time now. I have a whole collection of books about Greek mythology, and Hercules was a man who was married to a woman but also had lovers. Sexuality in ancient Greece, especially in myths, is very, very different than we see it today, and I love going into a world where this whole stigma around same-sex couples, queer people, does not exist in the way that it exists today. Obviously, it's not butterflies and rainbows. There was a hierarchy problem and everything. This book claims to be about Hercules, but it's actually not about him, or at least the voice is not given to him and more to the people that he affected in his life. So his mother, Alcmene, I think it's Hylas, Herc's first friend, and the summary says they were more than friends. Megara, his wife, Eurystheus, I don't know how you pronounce it in English, I only pronounce it in German, so Eurystheus, who oversaw Herc's labors, if you didn't know. So his friends, his enemies, his wives, his children, his lovers, his rivals, his gods, his victims. It's time to hear their story. Herc gives voice to the silenced characters in this feminist, queer, and sometimes shocking retelling of classic Hercules myth. I'm really excited about this book. I also haven't heard of it yet. The last book on this list is called 28 Questions. It's by Indiana Schneider. They say it takes 28 questions to fall in love. Then what? When first-year music student Amalia stumbles into her Oxford College bar, she has no idea that everything is about to change. Seated across from her is Alex, a velvety-voiced fellow Australian with eyes the color of her native sky. They strike up a friendship that is immediate, its intensity both thrilling and terrifying. So I guess it's friends to lovers, it's about two women. I just love reading love stories that are set in Oxford about people that are artists. You know, Alex being a music student just was immediately intriguing to me. Those are all the books on this list. If you have any, please leave them down below. Let's talk a bit about them. Let's have a conversation. Let's recommend books to each other. If you have read any of these, please share your thoughts. Love to read about it. Reading queer stories, reading about queer joy is so important, just as it is important to read about people struggling with their identity. Again, please use your voice to vote next week, June 9th. Check out the links down below for the people in Palestine. It's quite hard to be positive during this time. I will not say that I'm a positive person. This channel has never been only about spreading joy and positivity. It's also about being transparent, being honest, discussing topics that are more difficult. So yeah, let's, I guess, all come together this Pride Month, celebrate, be with each other, support each other. I don't know, in my opinion, hate is much harder than love. I hope you have a wonderful Pride Month, everybody. If you celebrate your identity with shouting on the streets, or if you do it reading at home or watching a movie at home, doesn't matter. You are all valid. You all deserve love. Anyway, I'm gonna go now. I don't know, this was all kinds of things. I really tried to be more organized and, I don't know, get my point across much faster. But yeah, that's just not me. I'm jumbled all the time. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what you would like to see next. Subscribe to my channel. Check out my social media. I'm trying to be more active on there, especially TikTok. Just, you know, giving tiny insights. If I can't make a whole video for the week, I do try to upload every single Sunday now. I hope it lasts because I really do miss YouTube and I miss you guys. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful Pride Month, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye! Bye! That was